Hello, welcome to another vlog. I'm VA Winter, I'm an indie author. It's Tuesday evening and I am making an effort to actually vlog this week. The main focus is on trying to get an outline of Fire Witch, which is my contemporary fantasy, the first book in my contemporary fantasy, currently quartet. I've had a round of developmental edits on it and you can see my reaction to that at the video. I will link whichever side it is and down below as well. And I am currently re-outlining. I can't really show you without spoilers, but I'm using Dabble. Years ago I used Scrivener. I like Scrivener. The problem with Scrivener is it does not sync well and I can't get it on my phone. I have decided to try, I'm currently on a free trial of Dabble, which is very similar to Scrivener. It apparently doesn't have the learning curve. I disagree. I actually found Scrivener easier to learn than I'm finding Dabble. Dabble, I've been very confused. I've had to Google a few things. It has this cool feature, which is what's selling me on it right now, where I've got all the chapters down the side. So I've got each scene, each chapter, but then it has like a plot grid. And this plot grid lays out all your chapters on one side of the screen. And then what you can do is have like your subplots running alongside. So like I've got a subplot for the main love interest, so I can track what's happening in the different chapters just for that subplot. The really cool thing is that then when you click back into the actual manuscript, there's a sidebar that tells you which notes are associated with that chapter. So it means that I can have the note cards with the outline on in the sidebar when I'm actually on the manuscript. I don't have to have it in a separate document. I will try and keep you updated as I go through the rest of the week as to my progress. I've almost done with the short outline. Subplots are really hard. I find subplots really hard. So I'm going to get on with something actually useful now and I'll talk to you when I've got something else to say. Good morning. It is 6 AM on the 2nd of January, which can only mean, and I'm here doing this, so that can only mean one thing. I am back to work. I am currently editing the YouTube video that's supposed to be going up today. Obviously, I've got all of my quarterly goals sorted and set. My Kanban board has been reset and updated. I've done my yearly planning, which you saw in the video, which I will leave linked either side in my last vlog. My word of the year is Delulu. So I'm going for some Delulu goals this year. What does it hurt to dream type of goals. On the plus side, it's Thursday. That means I only have to do 2 work days before it's the weekend again. So that's very nice. Good morning, hello. I haven't vlogged in a while. It's currently the 27th of January 2025. It's been not a great month for various reasons. So I'm currently working on draft 3 of Fire Witch, which is my debut novel, which should hopefully be coming out late summer, early autumn this year. I am revising a good chunk of the book, but I'm also adding about 20,000 new words. I just started it this past weekend because I finished the outline. I'd been sort of doing the outline in snatches of time at work on my phone, whilst also writing some of Scribe. I do have the next 2 episodes of that just about written, they just need editing, so I'm taking a break from that to work on draft 3 of Fire Witch. At the minute, I think what I want to do is a round of beta readers next, if I can find people to beta read the book. This is the big question mark. There is a Google form linked in the description box below to sign up if you want to be a beta reader for Fire Witch. I also need to start thinking about getting it booked in for a copy edit, because obviously editors book out in advance. As far as the draft goes at the moment, I'm at just over 4,000 words for Fire Witch. I'm about to finish chapter 3. This week is going to be stressful just because of some external things that are happening this week. Don't imagine I'll be tremendously productive this week. I'm going to try, but I don't imagine I will be. Hello, I don't think I've spoken to the vlog in a while. It's currently the 12th of February. I haven't really done a great job of vlogging at all this year so far. Currently, I'm just waiting for my video to upload. I'm currently working on draft 3 of Fire Witch. I'm sitting at almost 20,000 words. It's kind of patchy as to how fast I'm going because there are bits once more that I'm drafting from scratch, and then there are scenes that I'm just editing as I'm sort of copying and pasting from previous version into this version. I'm hoping this is the last time I have to do this. I'm hoping that the next draft will just be edits rather than rewrites. I'm enjoying a different version of editing. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about this version of the book at the moment without the dual timeline, because I've decided, I've no idea what I've put in previous vlogs, but it was a dual timeline, and I decided to remove the dual timeline after the developmental edit because I think the feedback that I got kind of confirmed my worst suspicions that it just didn't work. So I've kind of removed it. I still have no idea how I'm going to write the second book or rewrite the second book. That has yet to be determined, but I'm sure something will come to me as I go along. I've got some ideas, but nothing concrete. So I will do my solid best to get back into the habit of picking up the camera, picking up my phone, and just filming little bits. It is now Thursday the 20th of February. It's currently 6:45. I'm supposed to be getting ready for work right now. I have just edited this week's video, which is a video about the own voices hashtag that was sort of a big thing a few years ago and now isn't, and talking all about that. I'm still making my way through Firewitch, the third draft. I'm currently on chapter 13. I'm kind of in a bit at the minute. I'm in a few chapters where it needs writing kind of from scratch, which is slowing me down, as I think I said in the last clip. I've moved some stuff around, even from when I re-outlined it, I've moved some stuff around just because as I've been working on it, I thought, actually, I think it would make more sense for it to happen in this order, which has sort of caused a little bit of chaos in the draft, but we're getting there. I think it's going to be a better draft for the work that I'm putting into it. I'm feeling really frustrated at the moment in the sense that, how is it 2.5 years at this point since I finished my master's degree and I'm still working on the same book? I think it's kind of comparisonitis a little bit. It's kind of FOMO, or I'm not sure which one it would come under, but I go on social media and I see all these other indie authors who, you know, in the last 5 years have released like 15 books, and I'm like, I still haven't released the first one. Like, even if you just take it from when I finished my master's degree and I made that decision, I'm definitely going to self-publish, and this is the book I'm going to start with. And I started writing it in September 2022, and I genuinely thought it would be out a year later. And it wasn't, because it just wasn't ready, and I had to accept that. And I think I'm just feeling very like, how is it February 2025 and I'm still working on the same book? I know the reasons for it, but that still doesn't help with feeling like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just get a book published? I found a potential paid beta reader. I just need to message her. I just need to sit down and do it, but I haven't done it yet. And obviously I'm still recruiting free beta readers if you would like to sign up on my form below. And if you are a paid beta reader, or you know somebody who is, I would absolutely love that recommendation. But I'm going to shut up now and I'm going to go get ready for work. It's now Saturday evening. It's nearly the Publish and Thrive week 3 Q&A. I've done some writing. I did get stuck this afternoon, so I had to sort of walk away from it a bit and try and get myself unstuck, which I'm kind of working on. Still on chapter 14, still trying to figure out the structure of this book. I've just watched a video, which I will leave a link down below, by somebody who's talking about sort of designing their dream life. And, you know, it's typical YouTube content, right? Like transform your life, change your life, glow up, all those kind of things. But I think there were just several things in there that kind of resonated with the way I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling increasingly just like I'm spinning my wheels and not getting anywhere, even though I can look at the things that I've accomplished in the last sort of 2 years and think I am getting there. Like, I'm a lot closer to being where I want to be than I ever have been before. But because practically, as far as my life goes, I'm still in the same position. I still have a day job. I've not published a novel yet. I'm constantly thinking I'm ready for things to change, but I'm also practically not ready for things to change. I can't quit my job. I don't have another income. My job at the moment is frustrating, to say the least. And I think I'm coming to the conclusion that I don't think any job is ever going to not make me feel this way. And it's difficult because I can't make things move any faster. I'm still working through my developmental editing course and learning a lot. Currently doing show don't tell. It is making me see my writing in a different way. And this is the other thing that's going through my mind, is because I'm splitting my time and my focus so much at the minute, it is slowing my progress. If I were to put my writing completely to one side and focus completely on the developmental editing course, I would have that finished within the next few months. And the same is true of my writing, that if I were to go back to concentrating completely and solely on my writing, I would move faster with that as well. It's going to take a long time for my books to become profitable, at least profitable to the point where I could live on the profits, right? And I don't want to put so much pressure on my writing to get me out of a situation I don't want to be in that I'm stressing about my writing. There's no guarantees in any creative endeavour that anyone is going to buy your book, that they will think it's good, that it will hit the right trend at the right time, that the right people will see it at the right time. There's so many variables and so many different pieces of luck that go into it, and you just have to live with the fact that I cannot control the success of this book. I can influence the success of this book, I cannot control it. Ideally, you need, and I think this is why a lot of indies are doing this. A lot of indies are offering some sort of services, whether it's cover design or editing or virtual assistant, or they're doing ghostwriting or some other kind of work that is related to books and writing, because having another source of income, regardless of what that is, I think is sensible from a point of view of book sales go up and down. Don't want to put that much pressure on that work. But on the other hand, that's what I want to do, right? But also I enjoy teaching. I enjoy helping other people improve their work. So editing seems like a good little niche to be in. But at the same time, that's not easy. That's not something that you can just click your fingers and be overnight. It takes a lot of work to train to become an editor. It frustrates me when I see Facebook posts from authors who've been ripped off. I saw something on Threads yesterday about some poor author who'd spent over £1,000 or dollars on a developmental editor who'd sent the file back to them in 48 hours, and it was a glorified beta read. And that is people, and a lot of the times indie authors, who, like me, are in this situation of, well, I need to make some money and I know I'll just call myself an editor, and they don't have either the awareness, just don't seem to be able to think or understand or know that a reader does not an editor make, a writer does not an editor make. Being an editor is understanding, it's not only understanding what the problem is, it's understanding how to fix the problem and how to suggest fixes to the problem, which is something this EFA course that I'm doing on developmental editing is talking about a lot. I'm trying my best to do it right. I don't want to rush into doing something that I'm not qualified to do. I don't want to contribute to this problem of indie authors really not knowing who to trust, and I can't blame them. I don't know who to trust as an indie author. It's really difficult. I just watched that video and it just resonated so much with just feeling like I'm in this messy middle where I don't feel like I can see the progress that I'm making. I don't feel like I am making progress even though I am. So I'm going to watch the Q&A, do my nails, and then in theory get some sleep, and we're halfway through the weekend already. Hello, it's Sunday afternoon. I have just been writing. Fairly good session actually. Started out frustrating because I was still stuck on the scene from yesterday, but I got myself unstuck, deleted that scene completely and changed this section of the book a little bit. I'm going between, I'm feeling like it's a complete mess and it's rubbish and I just need to stop trying to make this book work, and then thinking actually it's not too bad. So what I'm doing currently is I have found somebody who offers paid beta reading alongside editing services, and I'm kind of like in a space of I'm not sure what I'm going to do about a copy edit. I know I need a copy edit, I'm just not sure who to hire. So I'm just kind of trying to get the courage to message somebody for a beta read. And obviously a beta read is not a copy edit. And I don't even know if this person works in British English, which I need to find out. I'll probably at some point inquire about getting a sample edit if she works in British English, because I do need to get booked in for a copy edit. I need some deadlines. I'm planning it will be ready for the beta read by 17th of March, so mid-March, so I've got about 3 more weeks, which I think is plenty to get this finished, because once I've hit the midpoint in this draft, it's a lot of copying and pasting and just making sure that it makes sense. I will move a lot quicker when I hit that section of the book. Right, it's submitted. What have I done? It's fine, I'll be fine. It's Wednesday morning and I have just finished writing for the morning. It's 20 to 7 and I need to get ready for work. Boo hiss. I am currently sitting at nearly 39,000 words in the draft, which means I'm almost halfway. I'm on a scene that's a bit difficult to get right at the minute. I don't know, my brain won't work. I don't care. So, in slightly rubbish lighting because it's kind of evening, kind of end of the day, I have just been having a debate with myself all day, really, and for a couple of weeks now, kind of, but today it's kind of intensified, and thinking about how I'm spending my time, thinking about how I want to be spending my time, thinking about that's better. Big thoughts, but largely thinking about how I'm spending my time at the moment, how I want to be spending my time, what my priorities are, what the kind of goals are, all of that stuff. Several conclusions. I primarily want to be a writer, and I think how I'm spending my time has to reflect that. So I need to be spending my time mostly on writing. A couple of weeks ago, I was having a lot of resistance to doing YouTube, to doing anything that wasn't just working on my book. I was just getting so annoyed at the things that I had to keep doing on a weekly basis. Instagram, YouTube, Scribe, batching that. Anything that wasn't working on Firewitch, I felt a huge amount of resistance to doing. And I just got so mad. I was just like, you know what, I just want to work on this book. So that's all I did at the beginning of this week, is just work on my book and do a bit on the developmental editing course. And that felt like I was prioritizing the right things. Tomorrow I'm supposed to be batching the next episode of Scribe. Episode 3 is not actually completely finished. I stopped because I finished the outline for Firewitch, so I stopped working on Scribe. I'm right at the end of episode 3, but I haven't quite finished it. And I'm trying to work out how much of how I feel is anxiety because I'm sharing my work with the world, and how much of it is an objective as this sort of feeling comes, feeling that it's not good enough. I'm posting it and I'm constantly thinking this isn't good enough. This isn't good. I don't like this. I sort of pushed through doing episode 2 because I felt like you're just anxious. You are anxious about the fact that you're putting something out there. And that for me is a lot of anxiety. I'm thinking about doing episode 3 of Scribe tomorrow, and I just don't want to do it. I'm starting to get a feeling like I would rather sit and stare at a wall than do episode 3. And I think part of it is anxiety, but I think part of it is also I don't feel like it's good enough. I had this really, really cool idea of what it was in my head last year, and as I was working on the outlines and I was rereading the original stories last year, and I was thinking this is going to be so fun, and it's just not coming out onto the page the way I wanted it to. I have worries about stopping doing Scribe and appearing like I can't commit to anything. I just have worries about how it will appear if I stop doing it. I feel like I have to keep going just because I've started. It would be worse to keep going and keep putting it out when I'm not happy with it than it would be just to stop. So I think I'm just going to stop. And that's a really hard decision, and I feel really, really anxious about making that decision. But at the same time, there's a sense of relief attached to it, which I think is a good sign that I'm probably making the right decision. That was a very long way of saying I'm going to put a pin in Scribe, as much as that makes me anxious, and I want to focus in on Firewitch. And I just was hit by this question this afternoon of, what if I just believe that this works? What if I just believe in my writing enough to think, actually, when I do put this book out, what if it does sell better than I think it will? Because in my head, I'm thinking, well, I'm publishing it, but no one's probably going to buy it anyway. And it's kind of that negative mindset of, or I'm probably going to fail. And I think that's why my mind has been going around so many different things and ways of getting more writing time without pinning all of my hopes on becoming a full-time author, or at least a part-time author. Part of me just wants to focus on being a writer and just be a writer and teach writing and come at it from that angle rather than being an editor, because I just worry that being an editor comes with so many judgments. I don't know what the answer is. I just know I want to share the knowledge that I've got, and I also don't want to have to work full-time, and I also want to write full-time, but I also know that selling books is hard. So I'm in turmoil. It's Sunday afternoon now. I've spent the morning working on Firewitch, which has been good. I've managed to do, I don't know, I'm at 48,000 words, so I'm over halfway. I've gone past the midpoint. I've just had a few scenes this morning where all I've kind of had to do is copy and paste them into the new sort of draft and just make one or two slight edits, just typos and wrong tense and the things like that, and just sort of rewrite like an intro or an outro or just improve it slightly. So that's meant I've moved a lot quicker today than what I was doing earlier on this week. But now I'm having a dilemma over what to do about a couple of scenes. I'm trying to sort of pick apart and have the patience to pick apart my own plot points and pick apart my own plot holes and sort of think, actually, don't just brush past it and think it's fine. Actually figure it out and sort it out. Don't wait for someone else to tell you it's a problem. You know it's a problem, fix it. And then I've got one or two that will need rewriting again further on, but we're moving a lot quicker now than we were at the beginning, where there was a lot that needed just writing from scratch. This morning I've posted a video, posted my author's a weird tag, and I've also privated Scribe. I don't know whether that was the right thing to do or not. I still have mixed feelings about it. It was getting some views. I think when it boils down to it, I was thinking about it yesterday after I filmed my clip. I'm not happy with the way it is. That I think what I need to do is take the story that I kind of came up with, but instead of it being just lots of short stories, make it into a novel. And I think that would be better. Novels are what I do. And 2, novels just easier to sell. There are more novel readers out there than there are people who are willing to read serial fiction. And underpinning all of those reasons is just the fact I wasn't happy with it. And I'm not happy with it. And I think I've made the right decision, even though I still feel like I've sort of done some damage to my own brand by making a mistake, and that's what it was. It was a mistake. I was being impatient. I just wanted something out there. I made a mistake, and I just have to move on from it and live with it. Good morning. It is Thursday, the 6th of March, and I am still working on Firewitch. I'm getting closer to the end now. I'm in Act 4. It's going a lot quicker. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing now is just copying and pasting and just adjusting to account for the timeline changes and just picking up on some dodgy writing and dodgy punctuation and grammar. I'm at 62,000 words. I think it's going to end up just over 80k. It's been a ride. I don't know. I've got it booked in for a professional beta read on the 17th of March. The link is down below to my Google form. I will keep that open until that weekend. I haven't really been promoting it the way I was supposed to because Instagram and everything kind of fell apart. And I might post in 1 or 2 groups as well this next week, and just sort of see if anybody's available to read it. I'm kind of looking to get the feedback back by sort of mid-April at the latest, get on to the next draft, and I'm also starting to look for a copy editor as well, or decide who I'm going to use as a copy editor. Obviously I need someone who works in British English, which if you do have any recommendations for a British copy editor, leave them down below. I'm feeling motivated, which is very useful. I feel like I've made a lot of progress on this book in the last few days, since sort of making that decision on Sunday to just focus on this now and put a pin in other things. We're getting really close to this book being ready to publish, and it feels that way, and I'm determined it's being published this year. I am feeling motivated to get it done and starting outlining or re-outlining book 2 as well, and sort of getting started on revisions for book 2. That will also be coming up. I need to go get ready for work now. Yeah, we're getting there. It is now Sunday afternoon. It's the 9th of March. I didn't realise I'd started this vlog all the way back in December, but I did. So there you go. I'm just editing it now, so I haven't filmed a closing out clip. So this is me filming a closing out clip. So I'm ending this vlog on 65,277 words in my draft. I've got about 10,000 words left. I'm revising down my aim or my estimate down to 75k. Because my endings are always short. I've got 5 chapters left to do, and then I've just got to put it all into Word, copy and paste it all over into a Word document, because it's currently in Dabble, which I did continue to use. I realised I never picked up on it throughout any of the other clips. I did continue to use Dabble. I'm now paying for Dabble. And then it's going to beta readers next week. 17th, the week of the 17th, it's going to beta readers. So one final reminder, link down below to sign up if you want to beta read for me. So I've got a week. Tune in next week to see if I manage to hit the deadline. I'm going to close out here. If you did like this video, hit like. If you want to see if I hit my deadline, subscribe, and I will see you next time with another video.